What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome, finally, to Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I've talked about playing this game multiple times, and we did hold a vote a pretty long time ago to decide what class I would play. The unanimous decision was for Spore Druid. Spore Druid is actually pretty interesting in this game. It's kind of a jack of all trades. You get spellcast in, and with Spore Druid, you get quite a nice amount of melee play too. So it's not just all sitting back and casting. Full disclosure, Baldur's Gate 3 was my first introduction to D&D. I know nothing about the rule set or Wizards of the Coast or any of that. I've never played tabletop. Everything I know about D&D comes from Baldur's Gate 3. And now when I played this game, I absolutely fell in love with it. I have like 500 hours in this game. I have beat it all on honor mode. Although this series is not going to be the kind of max difficulty sweatfest that you usually see on my channel. This is going to be a modded playthrough because, I mean, I played it so many times. When I first played this game, I did, I think, 4 playthroughs back to back to back to get all the different endings on all the different difficulties and get all the dice and achievements and stuff like that. So I thought I'd mix it up. So on top of the fact that I'll list all the mods, of course, in the description on the first video, I'll just quickly go through what I have. So I have a couple cosmetic sets, which is better starting gear for Lae'zel and Shadowheart. They're just going to get some more thematic armor sets. I did change the appearance of Shadowheart and Lae'zel, some minor face tweak mods. I do have a cool dual scimitar weapon set for our main character, of course our Drow Spore Druid that we'll be making. I also have a mod which is called Extra Attack for Spore Druids. So martial classes in this game, I believe at 4, 8 and 12 get extra attack. Perhaps it's just 4 and 8. Basically the mod that I have just adds the extra attack to the Spore Druid class specifically too, when the other martial classes would get them. So instead of me having to multi-class into Fighter or something like that, I can just pure go all the way up through Spore Druid to get the extra spell slots and all that good stuff. On top of that, I do have a mod that changes the dual wield weapon strikes. So usually what would happen when you attack with 2 weapons in this game is it would use your primary attack for the first hand attack, and then your bonus action to attack with the offhand. What this mod does is when you attack, when you still have your bonus action, you will attack with both weapons without using your bonus action. Now, if you use your primary action first and then attack, it will only attack once. So the mod only works for the first round, basically. And that just lets you actually dual wield, because I tried to dual wield on different classes and it just never felt good, because you use both your actions to hit with both swords, and it just always felt better to use a big weapon, or just a two-handed weapon than dual wield. So dual wielding should be fun. Aside from that, the last mod I have that alters any kind of gameplay mechanics would be the feat every even level. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, we will be getting feats, which is just going to help us add some kind of... It'll be fun to play around with, right? Because there's a lot of cool feats in this game, but usually you just end up going with ability score improvement because you don't have that many and it's more important to buff your base stats. But now we get to mess with things like Sentinel for Shadowheart. Our whole party will get things like Alert. It should be pretty fun, I think. I think I've come up with a cool little system to make this series enjoyable for not only me, but also for anybody watching. I think it'll just be good all around for that. So, without further ado, let's get into Baldur's Gate 3. So for the difficulty, I imagine the best bet is probably going to be Tactician. I'm not going to go custom or honor. I have beat honor mode, I'll be using the dice you get for it, but I'm not interested in that kind of shit show sweatfest. I'll be honest, when I beat honor mode, I got to the very end of the Nautiloid and I self-detonated Gale just to get it over and done with, so we will go for a Tactician on this one. Get a cool little intro cutscene for this game right off the bat. It's gonna tell us a little about what we'll be facing up against. And of course, as I said, I know nothing about D&D or the universe, so if I seem a little ignorant towards mechanics or things in tabletop, just know that's why. All I know from playing this game, and it's been a while since I played this game, so I'm sure I'll be a little rusty. We're gonna get a very creepy, uncomfortable ocular insertion here. Weird little tentacle monster. It sure does look like it hurts too. Imagine being tied like that, unable to move while something crawls into your brain. It's a fate worse than death. A lot about the Mind Flayers is actually a fate worse than death. But we'll talk more about that kind of stuff as we get into it. If anybody watched my Dragon Age series, I'll probably give this a similar kind of treatment. It's not a voiced protagonist, just like the old school RPGs would be, so I will be voicing my own character. I'll be voicing the dialogues. You know, maybe I should have kept those on. Anyways, let's make our character. Not too much to get into here. Everything that we're doing is pretty straightforward. Our cantrips, we want to take off Shillelagh, because that only works on clubs. We'll probably go Poison Spray. It's thematic, it'll fit the build. Background, Acolyte is probably a really good decision, given that we're a druid. Outlander would be pretty thematic, given that we're a druid from the Underdark. We are an outsider, technically. Guild Artisan is a really good all-around bet for the backgrounds, but I'll probably go Acolyte. Let's take a look at our stats. Now, our stats are going to be interesting, because we get feats every even level, so we'll get plenty of chance to upgrade our ability scores throughout the gameplay. So I'm not too worried about our starting stats here. One thing that I would like to do, 10, 14, 14 is okay. I might pump dexterity a little. Wisdom being all the way up here is fine. We'll drop charisma too, and then we'll put this into intelligence, just so we have no negatives. And then we could probably take it from there. So we have survival. We're at 0 on all these. Nature is good. Insight is very good. Animal handling at 5. Arcana. So we should probably get Arcana, because there are some cool dialogues and things you can find where you'll need things like Arcana. There's a specific book I have in mind actually for that. And I think Perception and Survival is how you catch the loot buried in the open world, so that all looks fine to me. For prepared spells, you don't want the one where you heal anything you can touch. You want to be able to heal anything you can see. We'll drop all these off. We'll take Talk to Animals, because that's our ritual spell. We'll also take the Ice Cast. And instead of Entangle, I think instead of Entangle, we might take Fairy Fire, which basically anything that you cast this light on, all the attack rolls against that creature will have advantage, which would be useful. Better than Entangle, I think, as an early concentration. Now, let's see what we can do.
Where to next?
What was that?
Voice 3.
Hells. Something just woke up down here.
It's opened.
I think I like voice 3
I
more.
wonder what's back there.
Give him a cool looking scar. Maturity, that's all fine. But Pearson style, we'll probably go easy breezy. Get the death earrings, since we are a spore druid. Has a lot to do with death. Give him some edgy tattoos. Fits the build, I think. Red 6 looks good for the eyes. Gonna give him any makeup. Hair wise, kind of like this one. This looks very regal. Like he thinks highly of himself. I feel like a death druid from the Underdark would feel pretty proud of himself for all his achievements. And for the name, of course, we'll do Apparition.
You need a guardian. Choose one.
And for this, let's just go... Let's make him a human. I'm not going to mess too much with this, but we are going to have to do something about his hairstyle. Give him something that makes him look the part. That kind of regal guiding adventurer. What do we have? Where's the one hairstyle? Well, we can go Geralt of Rivia. This guy definitely gives Geralt vibes. Facial hair. Yeah, that's pretty Geralt of Rivia, right? And I think I managed to balance the audio pretty well, but of course, as always, it's the first episode, so I'll be watching this back to test for audio levels after. The way they just yoink and kidnap people is quite creepy. Reminds me of collectors from Mass Effect 2. I did always wonder if Mind Flayers would be ever capable of infecting animals like dragons. They put a mind worm in a dragon, have it just do its bidding. These dragons are very cool. Interesting to note that she saw us there, and she just left us in the tube anyway. She looked right at us while we were conscious and just pieced. And we are in business. Alrighty. I am going to go ahead and get my modded stuff equipped. I'll cut the video and I'll see you all when I'm dressed. Alrighty, we are ready to head on out. We got scimitars ready to go. So the same as in our Dragon Age Origins playthrough, the first thing I'd recommend you guys do when you ever play this game is do the button map for where you can highlight unused objects like this. I'll take a look in the controls for you and find out what that is. It is... the context menu. Would be mouse 5, whatever I put it to. I want to be mouse buttons. Where am I looking? Maybe it's ping. Yeah, it might be ping. That's Alt plus. Yeah, it's on my mouse button. I always have a hard time finding these things. Alas. Somewhere in here, since I can't seem to find it, is something to enable you to highlight unused objects. It makes it really useful when you're looking around.
Dead. Good.
Like the way we sound, at least.
Here goes nothing.
I always have a nightmare trying to figure out how I want my character to look in these games. Especially sound. And while this, the character's thing isn't voice acted, he'll make little offhand comments, the same as in Origins, as you're running around. He's gonna comment on things when you click and tell him to do something. Make sure we get all these chests.
Inside.
Well, for anybody curious on the swords that we have Icing Death and Twinkle. They got some cool little things. They both have Hero's Journey, which means they're both going to level up with those as we progress, so we should be able to use these swords for the whole game. Aside that, this one gives you 3 AC when it's wielded in your offhand, and this one gives you resistance to fire and deals an extra 1 cold damage, or 1d4 at level 4 and 1d6 at 6+. So they're pretty strong. And then this is our chest piece that we got. This set does not come with gloves or anything like that, but I really liked the way it looks. It looks very Underdarky Spore Druid, so I thought it fit the build well. Took me a while to find the armor sets and stuff that I wanted to use. And so this is the room in the cutscene we just watched where the dragon blew it the fuck out.
Someone else got out.
That's where Lae'zel was before she abandoned us so kindly. Kind of gives you a hint into Lae'zel's character right off the bat. She gets free, and instead of freeing all the other people, she just took off by herself.
This is the pool that thing came from. The parasite now writhing behind your eye.
Of course, one of the cool things we have about this game is the narrator, when she talks when you make actions, and that is very well voice acted. She does a great job with that. Let's investigate. One thing I won't be doing is I won't be save scumming, so if we miss a roll, we miss a roll. We'll see how it goes. But we nailed the investigator right off the bat.
The casing is fragile. The slightest touch could cause it to crumble.
Stuff like that is why I put it inside 10 intellect. Because even if it's not a specialty, just not having a negative in it, sometimes you can make those rolls.
Odd. I feel better.
It's tentacle healthcare. But one of the cool things about these, this chest piece is every time we heal, it dips our swords in venom. So that's cool. We have poison blades too. And that's going to stack like hell with the poison we get from Spore Druid. But we'll talk about that when we get there.
Images of goblins, their habits and histories flash into your mind.
So the Mind Flayers were studying things in here as they captured people.
1,000 years of humanoid history. Elves, dwarves, humans, and more flash behind your eyes.
And tentacle education too. It'd be cool if humanity could have that one day. You kind of touch a thing and you just get the memory. That's how you learn. Instead of having to read books and memorize the knowledge, you just touch something and get it transported directly into your brain.
Yes, you've come to save us from this place. From this place you'll free us.
The exposed brain quivers in expectation.
Please. Before they return! They return.
That's not creepy at all. Who am I talking to? A man or a brain?
A newborn. Born new from this husk.
You realize you're talking to an intellect devourer, a minion of the Mind Flayers who abducted you.
Now, I wonder what made this elf so unfortunate to where he just became an intellect devourer instead of a mind flayer. I wonder what the process of this is to make somebody like this. You sound afraid. Why?
The enemy. So many enemies.
I think you're past the point of saving. Tell me what to do.
Remove us from this body. From this case. Free us. Please.
Let's take a look and let's peek into this. See if we can see anything that helps us make a decision. We cannot. Investigation is not our strong suit.
Apart from this strange context, you notice nothing unusual about the brain.
Alright, well, given that things are the way that they are currently in this situation, we could use all the help we can get. If we can manipulate this thing into doing our bidding, it certainly would help us a little, so... see if we can prise this thing from the skull. We can.
The brain lifts from the skull, but you notice an opportunity. You could cripple the strange creature, making it more subservient, should it prove a threat.
We could, but it would also be more subservient in combat. It wouldn't really get to help us much, so... we'll leave it how it is.
We are free. Our freedom is ours, friend.
The creature pauses, listening. Something behind your eyes seizes in recognition.
We must go to the helm. At the helm, we are needed.
Well, having a telepathic connection to this thing doesn't bode well. What's at the helm?
The brain tenses, as though querying an unseen advisor.
Do you not hear it? We will not survive here. We are needed to navigate. We are needed to leave this realm.
What should I call you?
Us. We are us.
And us is a very creepy little thing. Alright, let's go.
To the helm we go. We are going to the helm.
It just makes sense to me to pick up the help where we can get it right. We don't know what we're going to be facing out here. As creepy as it is, it seems to be on our side for now, and we can always snuff it out if it turns on us. The more the merrier. Flying through the seven hells right now.
Abomination. This is your end.
Your head throbs and your skin tingles. Visions rush past. A dragon's wing, a silver sword, and a flash of your face seen through the strange woman's eyes.
Oh. My head. What is this? Skvar. You are no thrall. Vlaakith blesses me this day. Together, we might survive.
I think Gith might be the only species in the game that don't have a negative reaction to you being a drow. What made you think I was a thrall?
We carry Mind Flayer Parasites. Unless we escape,
Unless we are cleansed, our bodies and minds will be tainted and twisted. Within days, we will be Geich, Mind Flayers.
Well, I don't intend to lose my sense of self. We're turning into Mind Flayers. There must be something we can do.
We can do nothing until we escape. That must be our priority. First, we exterminate the imps. Then we find the helm and take control of the ship. As for that thing, it will remain tame as long as it believes we are thralls. It may be of use in the fight to come.
You see right away, she's certainly a woman of action. Doesn't like to waste time. Alright, kicking off the combat with some imps. Alright, so as I was saying, the first and main mod that we installed here was the dual wield one. So if we attack first, it'll hit with both weapons. And now we still have our bonus action. So we still have flourish, we have heal, and we have the offhand attack no matter what we do. Now nothing I don't think is going to be in range here. What we'll do instead is we'll kind of move off to the side. Get us to go attack this imp. He should take care of that. 100% hit chance.
I will ascend.
Try and get a little crafty here with the positioning. Maybe we can convince this imp not to attack us. Lae'zel can hit the bow shot, and she missed. And that's going to be the end of our turn. As planned, I baited him into attacking Lae'zel, not us. Do the poison spray. Ah, we don't have the range. What about Ice Ball? It's a 95% chance to hit. And that takes care of him.
Open up.
You proved surprisingly adequate, Virgil.
Thanks, you proved surprisingly adequate too, when you missed your bow shot. Yeah, she has an interesting ego about her, Lae'zel. It's a little rough around the edges, but as we'll see later on in the journey, she just kind of soften up if you put some effort into it. Which is a great thing I like about the traditional RPG style, of which this very much is if you put the work in and you talk to your companions and you pay attention to all that stuff, you can make a huge difference in the lives of your characters, and they definitely develop alongside you, which I like. I like stuff like that a lot. We do have to be careful with our carrying capacity. We only have 10 strength, which unfortunately affects not only your jump distance, but your carry weight. One thing we do need to do with Lae'zel is she's gonna need something that isn't this bow, because it really doesn't hit very good, and this has a higher damage output, so we'll give her the crossbow.
Is that
Identical healthcare.
Ship won't be able to take another dragon attack. We need to get out before it's too late.
Yeah, dying on a crashing ship isn't on my to-do list, although I suppose it might be better than becoming whatever those squid creatures are. We'll learn a little about them here in a second, actually.
Need to find a way forward. Mind Flayer machinery. Better watch what I touch.
Let's see if we can investigate any of this.
Another mystery. Can't read this script.
And now you see Arcana is not a strong suit. I thought we might maybe pass those checks, but
Energy radiates from the prisoners, but they do not react.
now of course we just push buttons knowing not what they do. Why wouldn't we push the buttons and investigate, right? 85% chance to hit. Beautiful. We'll move us a little closer. Maybe we can make him the primary target here. Lae'zel still misses with the crossbow. Your hit chance is not playing nicely with me, Lae'zel. They can eat the acid burst, no problem. I think he put himself in range for our attacks now. Almost down. Flourish should finish him off. There we go. We're not too worried about burning our skill points right now because we do have tentacle healthcare back here, which completely refreshes your FP, so we don't actually lose anything for doing that. When we get later in the game, you don't want to be just burning everything like that, but right now it doesn't matter so much.
You! Get me out of this damn thing! We have no time for stragglers.
And Lae'zel's personality shining in some more. Let's look for a latch. Let's see if we can figure this thing out.
The construction is too alien. Nothing looks familiar.
This ship is crashing. Do you intend to die for a stranger?
And that stranger might actually be very useful for us. So you see, when you get these little options that drop up, you get a nice little kind of hint as to what kind of people the Drow are. And if you look right here on the little prompt, it says Drow, the elves of the Underdark. Drow have been fighting a massive civil war since the goddess Lolth severed herself from the elvish pantheon, a betrayal scarring every generation that followed. Drow city-states struggle with one another for dominance, but the true war is between the cultists who serve Lolth and those who resist the goddess's corruption. So while Drow aren't necessarily an evil people, they definitely have an evil faction, and they're typically of dubious intent. But alas, this is us, so we're gonna help her. Whether we think she's valuable or not, or whether we know she is, she still might be of assistance to us, so I'll go look around. There must be some way to get this thing open.
Try that contraption next to the pod. They did something to it when they sealed me in. Hurry! Please!
Now, for better or worse, maybe it's manipulation, maybe it's not, but Shadowheart is asking way nicer than Lae'zel did. Lae'zel just pretty much said, to hell with her, she's screwed, let's get out of here.
Images appear in your mind. A brain, a Githyanki warrior, and centuries of darkness.
Burnished necklace, you know, we'll take the dark mind too. Gold is gold.
Needs the key.
Need a key for that somewhere.
Here we go.
Keep an eye out for that as we progress. And gold key. That may in fact be for the chest.
How many hosts of these gay infected?
This whole place has just collector ship vibes from Mass Effect 2.
A dazed woman is trapped inside the pod. She doesn't notice you.
And slide on up. So you are going to see my mods appearing in here. There's a couple things that I have installed, but some of them I'm just not going to use. Now we have this for Astarion, so we'll probably give that to him when we pick Astarion up. Right now we don't even know who that is. We'll take the potions. And somewhere in here, briefly dip into this mod. Maybe we'll dip Shadowheart into some of this gear at some point, but not right now.
Anything of use?
And he has a Eldritch Rune. A strange energy buzzes through this alien object. You are sure you've never seen any of the like, yet part of you recognizes it as a component of some bigger machine. That'd be a nice little gameplay hint on what to do with it.
For what?
Place your hand on the console.
As you place your hand on the pod, you hear something. A presence connected to the pod, commanding the person inside to change.
Change her. Changed at the pull of a lever. How? If we are not purified, this may be our fate.
And as Lae'zel very eloquently pointed out,
Fate.
her entire existence was just changed at the pull of a lever. That Mind Flayer's on not to be fucked with.
The newborn Mind Flayer stares at you, weak and dazed.
You gotta imagine the excruciating pain to go through Ceramorphosis like that and have your entire body altered while you're conscious. Bones cracking, flesh changing on a cellular level, while being aware of everything and just trapped. Terrifying stuff. Anything where you lose your sense of self disturbs me quite thoroughly. Whether that's mutations, illnesses, or any kind of creature like this. They're basically body snatchers, but you're conscious of the body snatching. I found some sort of key. It might free you.
Good. Try using it on that machine next to me.
It also might turn you into whatever just happened next door.
The console appears dormant. The console hums to life. But what is its purpose? Will it free the captive or transform her like that other unfortunate?
Okay, let's try and take a closer look at this thing. See if we can ace the second Arcana roll. We did indeed. See if we can try and establish if this is gonna free her or hurt her.
The pulsing glow and organic lines of the device make it seem more like a beating heart than a machine. This device is different from the one that caused the other captive to transform. Perhaps it will open the nearby pod.
Okay, well, different is good. Different is enough to take a gamble.
Suddenly, you feel a hideous squirming in your head. The parasite. Then discomfort fades, and another sensation washes over you. Connection. Authority.
Will the pod to open? Now, I wouldn't normally encourage something squirming in my head to take control over something, but given that we have somebody to rescue here, I think we can make an exception this once.
You feel the biomechanical brain of the console process your command and yield to it. A shiver runs across your mind. You feel sated.
And she's free.
At last. Thought I was done for.
Bonus points for the way the narrator says authority, by the way. It really rolls off the tongue. She did a great job voicing the narration for this.
I thought that damn thing was going to be my coffin. Thank you.
Your mind lurches into her thoughts. Her gratitude is mixed with wariness, because you have a Gith with you.
You keep dangerous company.
True enough. Dangerous company is what you need in a fight.
Fair point. Looks like there's plenty of fighting ahead. Let me come with you. We can get off this ship and watch each other's backs along the way.
Did you feel what I felt just before? We were in each other's heads.
I did. It must be because of those parasites they put in us. But that'll have to wait. Are we going to help each other or not?
Alright then, let's get going. My apparition.
Shadowheart. One moment.
She was very shifty about the way she picked that up. What's that?
It's nothing. Trust me.
Enough of this chatter. We need to get to the helm. Now.
She's right. Lead on.
And that'll be about the only time Shadowheart and Lae'zel agree on anything throughout the course of the whole game. Now, let's dip into our reactions quickly. Gotta make sure that some of this is done right. It's not always the case. It's mainly gonna be for our
Let's get on with it.
friendly cleric over here that we need to make some changes for the next encounter. So we're gonna drop Shield of Faith and make sure that she has Command equipped. Command is actually gonna be very important for the next encounter, and I'll talk about that when we get there. I'll probably split the episode here in a second. But that is looking like we are good to go. We got everybody, the whole party's assembled up to this point. Got a nice 4-staff team. Hit the tentacle healthcare real quick, and perfect. Alrighty, that is going to be a wrap for this episode, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, there is a tip link in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you soon with more Baldur's Gate 3. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.